Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Game Day 8 Premier League review of Two Up Top. I'm Gav Mack, that's Ed Hall, and that's Steven Cotton. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Now, I don't know where everyone else was, but if you weren't watching the watch-along with Ed and Cotton earlier on today, then where the hell were you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you missed out.
Absolutely brilliant. A bit of a
500 concurrent viewers we had. 500 concurrent viewers. We gained 300 followers, and we had something like 350 reactions. It was a successful stream. And
we had people from.
We had
people from Nicaragua, Jamaica. Yeah, it was great. It was great fun.
Good times.
So top is going worldwide.
What's happened to our background? I thought we had like a football background.
It was City on there, wasn't it?
There it is. Now, if you don't know already, that's crazy. But if you put Two Up Top into Google, our name comes up first, which is fantastic. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's going on the bottom of the screen right now, www.youtube.com/Two Up Top Football. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, you name it, at Two Up Top Football. VAR is our friend again, which is fantastic. And is coming to play on a few bits of bobs, but one game where it didn't have any need to come in whatsoever. I'm lying. It did come in, and it was after just 40 seconds, wasn't it? Or whatever it was. And that's the Arsenal game. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 3. Now, I think everybody took the mickey out of Liverpool when Villa put 7 past them, but I have a feeling that this is slightly more embarrassing. What do you think? Well, as it was Liverpool who got pumped by them before. Let's come to you first, Ed.
This is how it feels. I'll tell you what, I think the difference is when Villa did it to Liverpool, no one was respecting the start they already had. I think people was just waiting for it to all fall apart. And yeah, they've hit a bit of bad form, but they've been a good unit this year. So when I see Aston Villa were playing Arsenal, I didn't think it'd be a free scoring easy win for the Gunners. I really didn't. I don't know what you thought, Cotton. I thought this would be a difficult game. I didn't expect a 3-0 whitewash, but I thought it'd be a difficult game.
I expected from this game like an Arsenal 1 or 2-0, 2-1 sort of situation. Certainly didn't see. I didn't see Villa winning it, and I didn't see him running out 3-0 winners. I'll tell you that.
Gav, you watched the game. You're an Arsenal fan. What did you think?
I watched the game as well. I was.
I did. I was just saying.
Arsenal really disappoint me. I don't think I'm the only person. I think there's even non-Arsenal fans that get a little bit disappointed by Arsenal. We all know what Arsenal used to be about, and then it's a bit like Man United as well. We know what they used to be about, but they're not finding it anymore. Passing it sideways and backwards, passing the ball to feet, not into runs and things like that. Going into games with the mentality that you're already winning 4 or 5-0 before you actually start the game. It's not good enough. And I do question the management at Arsenal with that. Now, I know that a lot of Arsenal fans would have been excited about the prospect of Arteta being in control. However, I do feel that it might just be a step too far. Let's have a look at who is Ancelotti's assistant manager, Paul Clement. It's Paul Clement, wasn't it? When he was at PSG, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. Yeah. What an assistant manager! Going to the big job isn't quite there. Isn't quite good enough, and I feel that Arteta might be the same.
I think today, man, it's the story. Well, the story is the question that gets aimed at Arteta a lot. But I think the initial lineup was wrong. I think playing Aubameyang out wide. Okay, you've got you're shoehorning them in because you want to play Lacazette as well. But playing Aubameyang out wide is such a waste. Lacazette is absolutely washed at top level, but I think he got the team selection wrong. I think he got the formation wrong. I think he took way too long to make any changes to adapt to the game or to being 1-0 down or 2-0 down. And it's one of those things where at the minute it seems to be whenever a team loses that everything is focused on the manager. And I guess this is where we're at today. I think we need to have a little dissection of Arteta.
What do Arsenal fans think of Arteta out of interest? Because I know it's been very up and down. One minute he's the greatest, 1 minute he's not. It depends who you ask, I'm sure. But I mean, that leaves you in the Premier League table 11th.
Yeah, I think it is a 50-50 split. There's people that staunch, we need Arteta, we're going to do this. There's staunch that, we need Arteta out, this, that, and the other. And there's the others that are not on the fence as such, excuse me, but have a level of expectation more. And me personally, that's where I am. I'm one of those, I'm sitting on the fence. I want him to do well because it's the club that I follow. But do I think he's the right person? I said it before this show even began. Even to you, Cotton, when you used to have the penny, when me and you used to have beers and stuff. How many times did I say Allegri or Ancelotti?
Yeah.
Say every single time. So when Emery took over, it was like, whoa, what's this about? That's quite embarrassing. Step back. And it's going to take a long time for Arsenal to change around. But let's talk about Aston Villa, because Aston Villa, they scored 7 past Liverpool. They were top of the league at one point. They just put 3 in against Arsenal. They're not the real deal. We're not gonna give it one of those ones.
No, I'm saying they put 4. I'm saying they put 4 past Arsenal today. Listen, I'm just saying.
They boast one of the best goal differences in the league already. Scored 18, conceded 9. This is the Villa side which barely survived last year.
And what was it? How many have they scored in the league? 18.
18. And
Jack Grealish has been involved in 10 of those.
Jack Grealish, I think, is sitting 3rd. Yeah, he's sitting 2nd in the assist tally. Guess who's sitting 3rd? John McGinn. Wow. 9 assists between them. 2 Aston Villas in the top 3 assisters. I mean, no one's saying they're the real deal, but they're telling you this. They are a hard team to beat.
Do we talk about John Terry in that respect? Do you reckon he has real involvement in regards to the defensive side of things, of how things have changed, in particular from the beginning of this season in comparison to last?
Be a role model, sure, but he has been there since they was in the Championship. I don't think it all would have come on in terms of the summer. They've just got the right players who have come in, and also the right players who have been a part of this project for a couple of years now. I don't think you can give all the credit to John Terry. I think it's a group effort. They all seem together, and Jack Grealish staying, I think, was a big part of that mentality.
Yeah.
Cotton, I want to ask you this question, because if you look at the back 4 for Aston Villa, 2 of those are English lads. One gets picked a lot, one hasn't been capped yet. Do you think that that Mings should start for England, and do you think Konsa should get a call up?
Who does Mings start over? We've had this conversation before. I think he's a very good player. Does he get in over Cody? Does he get in over Maguire? I know everyone wants to take shots at Maguire because Man United aren't doing great. He had a great game at the weekend. But Mings doesn't get in over Maguire. He doesn't get in over Cody. Does Mings get in over Joe Gomez? He plays very, very well for his club, don't get me wrong. If there were some friendlies coming up, give him a game. Why not? As for starting in important games, I don't think he's there just yet. I think he's got way too much competition for places at the minute.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Let's talk about the game that you did the watch along for. Big game every year. Not just the fact that it's the 2 best teams in the country on paper, but the fact that it's 2 of the best managers in world football right now, and that was Manchester City versus Liverpool. That game finished 1-1. It was a very exciting start. 2 goals in the first half as well, and also a missed penalty from Kevin De Bruyne. Second half was a bit of a damp squib though. But what was the reaction like from everybody that was watching, and how did you feel about it, Cotton?
I thought the first half was like we said at the start of the watch along. We said we wanted a really intense game, a fast opening, a good start. We didn't want a bore draw. And after 20-25 minutes, we looked like we were in for an absolute thriller. It was all good until the halftime whistle went, basically.
Ed?
And then it just.
I mean, we put it out to everyone what kind of scores they were predicting. We saw so many 3-2s, 3-1s, and it was probably a 50-50 split in which way it was going to go. So the hype was real. The game itself, as Cotton alludes to, it was a much better first half. You just felt that both sides towards the second half, especially with how chaotic it got at the back end of the first, it sounds stupid, but neither side wanted to lose that game. They were more than happy to draw it. The only problem is I thought City would perhaps push out more, because a draw at this stage of the season is a much better result for Liverpool than it is for City. Liverpool sit joint second, and their next game is against Leicester City, who are in first. Manchester City are down on 12 points in, let me just have a look. They are in 10th position, level on points with Arsenal, 2 points above Man United. And Man United have been scrutinised.
It's funny, yeah, because no one's actually talking about a poor start for City, but everyone is hammering Man United for having a poor start. So, what do you think of that? Do you think that City are getting away with it at the moment?
Cotton.
Well, I literally had this conversation.
I thought you just froze. I thought you froze.
No, I was literally like,
Yeah.
I was saying during the watch along. It's funny that they're a point above us in the league or whatever it is at the minute now, and they've spent X amount of money, and they've brought these defenders, and they've brought these players, and Pep's lost these games or drawing these games X, Y, Z. Why is he not getting absolutely hammered week in, week out? Why aren't City getting hammered week in, week out? I'm not going to sit here and just bore on about an agenda or whatever, but it's so frustrating to sit back and watch. Like literally, not one person in the post match said anything about Pep or City. And to be fair, during the watch along, we even said after 60, 70 minutes, City looked so content to just pass the ball around their back four and not push. They just wanted to draw. Could you imagine if that was us with 20, 30 minutes to go? Lack of ambition. There's no desire. Blah blah blah. But they do it, and it's a professional, controlled draw.
It's not
even lying. It's not even lying. You think a lot of United fans get a lot of flack for saying that is some form of agenda. But I'll put that thing on Twitter yesterday because it was who was it? Solskjaer. He had that chat after the game. We'll come to that game. In fact, we'll talk about this game, and I'll come to your point in a moment, actually. There was 2 penalties in this game. The first one, Carl Walker with the challenge, and the second one, a handball by Joe Gomez. How did you? Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm intrigued. No,
because listen, the first one, the moment it went in, I was like, well, that's a penalty. He's an idiot. Mane's coming at pace. He's hit the player, not the ball. Penalty. If you're arguing with that, you need to find another sport.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. The second one, listen, we say this all the time. It's like when I saw it, I said to Cotton, that's a penalty. There was no rose-tinted glasses. I accepted the fact it was a penalty. I'm disappointed because I know Joe Gomez hasn't tried catching the ball. I know there was no MJ vibes there. It just hit, the ball was struck. It hit him in the hand. Accidental. It doesn't matter. This is the rules. We've got to be consistent with it. I would have been more frustrated if they didn't give it because I need consistency in this game. Whether it will be changed is another conversation.
With the ref going over to the monitor, I think one of the issues is as well, when you see that in full speed, you think, he can't really get his hands out. When you see the still images in the replay and the guy's got his arm out here and it's hit him here as the ball's travelling into the box, what more can you do? It's there on the screen. It's a handball. What can you say? What can you do? I think
the bigger problem is the problem is every time the ref goes to the monitor, he changes the decision. There's not been one time where he's stuck with the decision. I'm not saying he got the decision wrong today because he didn't, but surely the decision's already been made by him walking over to that monitor. There's no way he goes over and goes, no, you're wrong. Why have you made me come over here? It doesn't. You naturally just second guess your original decision, don't you? As a human being, you would.
I'm actually really looking forward to the moment when that actually does happen, where the referee goes over and goes, no, I actually backed my decision. I don't think it was.
Yeah. Gav, I was talking about this. I think it was half time when we were having this conversation, or was it? It might have even been this morning in the other. Oh no, it might have even been in the Leicester game or something. Yeah, and I was like, at this point, surely the whole point of the ref going over to look at the monitor is because it was the Leicester game, wasn't it, where you said that one of the officials in the VAR room was shaking his head and saying it's not a penalty.
Yeah, didn't appreciate what was given there by Stuart Atwell.
But
apparently so. It's just the way they were remonstrating to each other.
Yeah.
Right, and they put it on Sky cameras as well. So
it's still subjective, right? So send that down to referee to look at the monitor, but then it's the ref's decision still. He shouldn't be thinking, well, they've sent me over here to look at it for a reason. It must be. That's not the case. You're still the referee. You're still in charge of this game. It's still your decision. Go have a look at the monitor And even if you see that his arm's outstretched and it's touched him, but common sense comes into play and you're like, well, he can't get his hand out of the way, it's not on purpose, blah, blah, blah. He should still be the one making a decision, not going over there automatically assuming, well, they've called me over, so it's got to be a penalty.
I agree. We're going to go into that game in a couple of moments, but I just want to touch on one moment of brilliance, first of all, by Gabriel Jesus, who was lambasted at the beginning before the game started. But you're right there, bruv. But no, seriously, the way I thought it was a lucky deflection, the way he got that, but it wasn't, was it? It was pure skill. Vibes of Dennis Bergkamp about that?
Vibes of Dennis Bergkamp, mate. It was vibes of Federico Makeda versus Aston Villa. A little touch, turn, and bottom corner. What are you talking about?
Let it go, Cotton. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
But can I just say, I say other than that because he scored a good goal. Did you see him for the rest of the game?
Who? Wait.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was definitely Ascension Day. But we're talking about the handball situation, so we have to talk about this game beforehand, and that is Leicester 1, Wolves 0. Now this game is a tale of two penalties. The only goal of the game came from Jamie Vardy. It puts Leicester at the top of the table going into the international break. But the penalty that was given was for handball as well. Now, Ed, do you think that this should have been given as a penalty?
Yes, again, for the exact same reasons. I mean, if I was the referee, if I don't judge that to be a cynical foul. The only thing I take away from all these decisions is the fact a yellow card wasn't given for these handballs. But you've got to give it until they change the rules. You've got to give these handballs. What do you think?
Me personally, or Cotton?
You personally?
I feel that this wasn't a penalty. I just feel that it was hit with some pace from Dennis Pratt.
Was the Kevin De Bruyne one not?
Yeah, but there was a little bit of distance. There was more distance in between, and I would try and look at that with both. The thing is, the De Bruyne one, I would give a penalty, but I wouldn't feel very happy about giving the penalty.
And this one, this
one, I wouldn't give a penalty.
But then you're lacking consistency because regardless of how fast the ball is, the ball struck his hand.
It's important. It's important the pace of it, because you could put that into any situation. In particular, with the.
But then you open a can of worms.
Tackles. It's still
grey area. They're trying to eliminate the grey area. You can't start going, well, let's have a look at the pace of the ball, because then we're going to get new technology and it judges the pace of the ball.
No, because you get that. You get this with tackles as well, don't you? You know, like when you see tackles flying in, it's like, well, if the ball weren't there, you know, or then sometimes they win the ball. They go through the man, and it's like, well, you know, you went up and did this and did that. It's like, you've got to look at the pace of it, and these are the things that you get taught when you're doing the course as well. It's like you got to take into consideration the pace of the game, the pace of the challenge, the intensity, the location on the pitch. You get told all these different things when you're trying to work it out, and I just feel that there was no way that Kilman could have done anything about that. And I felt that his arms were in a more natural position than Gomez's was.
Okay, fair enough.
But the second penalty, Stonewall, easy.
Yeah.
Cotton, would you give a pen on this one, the City one? Neither?
Yeah, no, you got to, man. That's it. The rules have been stated this season. If you give one of them in game one and that is your precedent, then that's it. The rest have got to fall in line. The rest have got to follow. It's hard. Some of them are hard. Some of them are really unfortunate for the player. But listen, these are the rules now, and that's it. Like, we've just got to stick with it until they change the rules. And if they don't change the rules, then players are literally going to have to learn to defend with their hands right down by their sides. And that's it. You're just going to have to adapt to it. And like I was saying to Ed earlier, this isn't the first time a new rule or whatever. Don't forget when the back pass rule came in.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say the pushing in the back like that.
No.
That came in the first couple of weeks of the season about 4 or 5 seasons ago, and every time there was a corner or a free kick, there was penalties given left, right, and centre. In fact, it was the 16-17 season. Do you know why I remember? Because the first game of the season was Man United versus Leicester, and you beat them 4-1. and you scored a couple of penalties, and Damari Gray scored that absolute worldie.
Oh yeah,
But there was loads of pushes in the back. I think you got given 2 penalties, or you definitely got given a penalty for a push in the back. It was a really soft one. But then every game for the first 5-6 weeks of the season, push in the back, penalty, and then they take it away. So
yeah,
like, hold on a minute. What do we believe? What are we meant to go for? Are we giving pushes in the back? Are we not? What's going on?
But that's what I mean. It'll take just like the pass back, like when they brought that rule into effect, people were still doing it. Next season, it had stopped. I reckon if they're just going to carry, if this is the rule now and this is the precedent, this is it, then players will learn to defend with their hands down and just try and avoid it as much as they can.
You don't have to like the rules. Just because you don't like your rules doesn't mean you can't stick with it. So
very fair point. Very fair point. One player in particular that we were talking about in our little WhatsApp group, and he comes on quite a lot for Wolves. He was spoken about with some high-profile moves at one point, but it's Adama Traore. What are we saying about Adama Traore?
Well, let me go because I was the one that sent this into the chat. So basically, I know at the start of the season and at the end of last season, there was so much talk and so much hype about Adama Traore and how unplayable he is. And at one point, there was links to Barcelona and there was 90 million price tags. He is an absolute hype job. Absolute hype job. Yeah, he's strong. He runs in a straight line really fast. Great. I've literally seen him run the ball off the pitch. You like Forrest Gump, like straight off. He gets past players, but the cross is never good. He's not known for his finishing. He's not known for his passing. And if he was that good, Wolves would be playing him. He doesn't come on till 60, 70 minutes. He's literally like he's like a player in the NFL, like a special teams coach.
He's a running back.
A special teams player. Sorry.
Yeah, he's literally like a running back. He reminds me of Derek Henry. That's exactly who he reminds me of the Tennessee Titans. Get the ball, just run in straight line.
But not
I mean, right over my head.
No, I don't mean like what a player. I mean like they literally wheel him on and wheel him out like a kicker. It's like, right, we need someone fast to run at this guy, get him on. And it's like he gets to the byline, but then what? There's nothing.
Yeah, he's got nothing going on really.
After my Jesus thing, like you watch Traore score a hat trick next week, but I can't.
Yeah, this is the thing because Ed, Liverpool were linked with him massively.
Yeah, because
at one point.
Okay, here's the thing. Remember when Manchester City lost 2-0 at home to Wolves, and it was the Adama Traore show? He's the one, I believe he scored both goals. Maybe he scored one assisted one. He was fantastic. The criticism of Traore then was final product was poor, exactly like Cotton was alluding to. But since that game, he just kept improving. There was multiple games that year where I see him runs past 2 players and whipped a good ball in the box to Jimenez. Traore was in good form. He was scoring goals, he was assisting, and he possessed that pace. Word. But it lasted so long. Yeah, it was form. So I think he has it in his locker, but I think he's a confidence player. I just...
Do you think he's at the wrong club now then?
Well, no, listen, if you can't do it consistently, unfortunately, you're not a top player. It's like what Jose Mourinho said to Dele Alli. It's like the attitude and consistency and form. You don't care how much ability you've got. That's what separates the best good players from great players. So Traore on the training pitch could absolutely nail it. But if he's not performing on the pitch, then he's just got good attributes.
Okay. It's now time for this.
What are Everton?
Everton 1, Manchester United 3. Cotton.
Well, this game and this result literally is the antithesis of why we do the what are Everton, because that they went from top of the league to now they've lost 3 on the bounce. 3 on the bounce and a draw. So in the last 4 games, they've got a point. So this literally shows the highs and lows that they really get. Have the wheels actually fallen off? It really looks like the defensive solidarity and how good they were at the start of the season. It looks like a million miles away. They looked sloppy at the back. They didn't look creative in midfield. Calvert-Lewin was kept pretty quiet, which was a shock. Do you think the wheels have fallen off, or do you think this is just a little blip and they'll be back?
Will's 4-0. I think it might be a bit of a harsh job. But I think what it was is the fact that they put on too many wheels at the beginning of the season. So I think that's what the issue is, because they did come out the blocks and it looked pretty tidy. Spurs are in transition at the moment. They went to the new Tottenham Stadium and got a victory. So it was like, oh, hold on a minute, let's have a conversation about these. But really and truly, Everton haven't been all that. They've sorted out their midfield three when they are all fit, but they're not all fit. So once they get that back, I think they'll look a bit more solid. But there are games where they should be winning. They should be winning against Newcastle. They should be winning against Southampton. I know Southampton were top of the league for 36 hours or whatever it was, but on paper they should be beating a team like Southampton. And regardless of what Man United are going through at the moment, I don't care. Man United should be beating Everton. So, I don't think this. I don't think this result really flatters anybody. What do you think of that, Ed?
Well, let's be honest. There wasn't a better time to play Manchester United.
The
media was on their back. Solskjaer was probably feeling the most pressure he ever has done before. I think I said a thing. It was like the vultures are circling. Everything was set up for another Manchester United manager being hung out to dry. That they were sat at 7 points before this game. They were coming against an Everton side that just had James Rodriguez come back into the team. Manchester United getting a 3-1 win away at Goodison, regardless of what happened in their previous result ever, is a fantastic result, and the manager should be applauded for actually rising to that. Yes, Man United are finishing better than Everton if you look at them on paper, but Everton have a much more clarity, much more harmony, and in my opinion, a better manager and backing of the board. Everything looks right for Everton. Man United have been in turmoil, so the fact Everton didn't manage to pick up at least a point is a terrible result. And there's only so much so much applause you can give Everton. I think Man United should be credited for this win.
Yeah, there was a bit of a chat with Solskjaer after the game, and he was talking a lot about the fixture congestion and injuries and things like that. And I know we've still got a number of games to focus on today, but I really want to talk about this because I think it's really important. Man United played away to Istanbul, Başakşehir.
Yeah, there we go.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, they played away. They lost. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is the fact they got back on Thursday, and then their first game back is Saturday afternoon. Now, the Premier League, for me, is the only league in Europe, not just the top 5 leagues in Europe as a whole, that do not care about their clubs that play in Europe. The only ones that care the only way they sort of help out a little bit is the teams that play in the proper competition, the Thursday night one, and they make sure that their games are played on a Sunday. But why aren't clubs? Hey, we've all been there, boys. Hey, look.
No, that's true.
But why don't the Premier League move fixtures and make it important for clubs to make sure that their players are back, make sure they're fit? In France, if PSG have got a game in the Champions League on Wednesday coming, they will move their game to Friday. They'll do the same in Portugal. They'll do the same in Italy, in Germany, every single country. So why don't the Premier League look after their clubs?
It's not the first time we've had this conversation. Definitely won't be the last. I remember there's been instances in the last 5 or 6 years where Liverpool have been in quarters or semis and their game wasn't moved and they've complained about it and Klopp's complained about it. Pep's had a similar issue. It's the FA, man. Like you said, that they just don't care. The Premier League is too much of a moneymaker. There's too many TV rights and too much TV money for them to start rescheduling everything every 5 minutes. And that's it. That's all they care about. Again, this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, even going far back, and I don't want to keep bringing this back to United, going back to the year we won the treble, why did we drop out the FA Cup and play the Club World Championship? There was only like one fixture that was like remotely clashing, and we asked for like a few days. And
one game. And the same thing happened to Liverpool. They ended up having 2 games in 2 days.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Like last year. And Liverpool have had to put out literally play their kids in a League Cup game because the FA just sod it. Like,
Hammered by Villa, didn't they?
Yeah, but like they've already sold their tickets. They've already made their money. Like they just
It's got
don't
two
care.
reasons, though. I mean, obviously, one we've stated. Other leagues need the Champions League. PSG doing well in the Champions League reflects on Ligue 1. The Premier League doesn't need the Champions League. It's an independent league. It's a moneymaker. But is there also the problem? I'm just throwing this out there. The fixtures and TV schedule, have been done far in advance. They've got the increased pressure of this fixture congestion. Champions League's broadcast on BT Sport. These half 12 kickoffs is broadcast on Sky Sports. Two rival companies fighting for money marketing in football. If they move the Manchester United Everton game, how would that affect Sky? Because Sky wouldn't have any half 12 game. Is that why they've had to keep it there? Are they restricted by broadcast TV deals?
They do look into these sort of things, but the reason why it winds me up as well, actually, because I'm going off the back of what you just said there, Ed, right? BT are going through a thing. They're doing a thing at the moment. I don't know if they've still got it going on, but they started it only a couple of months ago, where you can technically tailor your package. So you can have it this month. Yeah, so you can have it this month, and then next month you can cancel. You can put it on pause, so to speak, and then in January you can download it again. You can have it back on your thing.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know what fixtures are going on? They plan it well in advance, don't they? Well, no, they don't, because I know it's only a championship game, but Forest versus Huddersfield, right, in September it was. That game was down for a Saturday afternoon, normal 3 o'clock kickoff. 9 days before that game, they moved it to the Friday instead for TV coverage, so they can move it around whenever they want. They've got the
They advertise this weeks in advance.
Hold on.
but when all the fixtures when they first come out, they're all 3 o'clock kickoff, aren't they?
Yeah, hold on. Today's City Liverpool game was only scheduled and rescheduled for the Sunday half, whatever it was today, about 10 days ago. 10 days ago, it was still down as 3 o'clock.
It's still Saturday, 3 o'clock. So, and also when the draw is done for the Champions League or that sort of stuff, when they put the fixtures in, fixtures then get moved around with that. They do. That's the reason why they're able to say to PSG or to Juve or to Shakhtar Donetsk, right, we're going to move your game to Sunday. Is that all right? You know, and then you can turn around and say, like, yeah, that's right. Or, hey, look, FA, can we move this to Monday? Because, not being funny, we're travelling, this, that, and the other. But you do that as soon as your fixtures have been made. As soon as that draw has been made for the Champions League, Europa League, whatever, you then know what your 6 game weeks are. You've got that well in advance. You've got that between now and Christmas. And at the moment, there are going to be games in February, March, April that are currently set for Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. And of all the clubs that qualify for the knockout stages of the European competitions, they will then get moved once they know what their knockout games are. So because of that, you won't kick off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. So I don't understand why the FA, why England in particular, do not look after their own. And fixture congestion on that as well. Italy, they've got 20 teams in their league. They have a winter break. Germany, fair enough, they've got 18 teams, so they play less games. But there's other leagues in Europe that have 20 teams in their league, but they're still able to have a winter break and they're still able to fulfill their fixtures, but they don't play midweek. So I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. But
I think we can agree that we think the reason mainly is the money and the advertising and TV deals, really.
Yeah, it's got to be right. Let's move on. Let's talk about what's been happening in the Premier League again. Should we get some crap games out of the way first?
Go on then. Let's dish them out.
Some crap games out of the way.
Brighton 0, Burnley 0.
I thought you said
£15 that.
15 quid.
15 quid that.
To watch Danny Welbeck.
Oh my God, he was tragic, man. Do you know what? Yeah, it's actually really sad to see how like low he's gone and how much his career has dipped. Yeah, it's awful, and it's not just because he's playing for Brighton. Like when he came on, he was awful. Like he wasn't wasting chances. No good first touch.
He obviously had something in his locker, though. I mean, he's still danced around in the top flight, and he did score that absolute worldie for Watford. He's still got something in his locker. Perhaps he's just so low on confidence, he just can't seem to find any form.
I forget that he's 30 as well.
Yeah, I suggest he's got something. Yeah.
Oh, of course, he must be, because he was young about, as you said, 10 years ago.
Yeah. He's got something in his locker still for the Championship, but that's about it. And that's about as much as we've got from that game. That is literally it.
Oh, sorry, I lie. He's 29, he's not 30 for another 18 days.
Oh, for 18 days.
18 days, for Christ alive. So that's enough of that game, because that was... Oh, that game is, Anyway, right. This game? Yeah, go on in. West Ham 1, Fulham 0.
Take this one away, please.
Yeah, fill your boots, kid.
Woo! Yeah, what a game, because this was 15 quid as well.
We're just going to talk about the 15 quid games for a bit. So here we go.
Yeah, so I was watching this. Had ulterior motives why I wanted West Ham to win for once. Not that I usually like them. They came flying out the blocks, to be fair. Areola was forced to make 4 or 5 good saves in the first 20 minutes. West Ham were all over it. Then the game kind of got a bit bitty, and there was not much really going on. It was quite end-to-end. No real quality until it was 92nd minute. Ben Harama had been on for about 5 minutes. Now, this is where we had this conversation the other day, and obviously with the Arsenal goal, with Barkley being offside, the West Ham goal, Scott Parker was furious, and I could see why, because we had this conversation the other week, me and you, Gav. So the cross has come in. Haller is miles offside, kind of makes not even a half-assed effort to jump for it. He kind of just but the defender still has to jump to clear the ball because he's not to know. So your man jumps up, heads the ball, and he thinks it's offside. So he nods it down to the ground, and they'll put their hands up. Ball lands to Ben Harama, passes the ball off. Souček scores 92nd minute. Now, they VAR'd it, saw that he was offside, and they still haven't got him interfering with play, even though he's made the defender react and get involved in the game. So he's interfering. So that wasn't even that. So 92nd minute, I thought, right, cha-ching, here we go. 94th minute, it was 4 added on, or was it 5 added on? No, it was 4 added on. Fulham corner, Areola's gone up to make a tit of himself. Areola's gone up, it's pinged around, it's gone out for another corner, he stayed there, the ball's come back in the box. Tom Kearney dancing around, and Ben Harama's just clipped him. So it's a penalty, it's a soft one. So it's taken to the 98th minute to get their penalty in the 94th in 4 added minutes, and Lookman goes over, picks the ball up, takes it off. Well, not takes it off Mitrovic, but he's like, "Look, I'm taking it." And Kearney's talking to Mitrovic and being like, "Look, he's the designated penalty taker." So I'm thinking, right?
Why is the question first of all?
Yeah, I'm thinking that to be with, but I'm thinking, right, 98th minute, fair enough. This boy's got confidence. He's going to stick this top bins.
To be fair, Mitro has missed a couple of penalties.
Oh no, Mitrovic missed the last penalty. Yeah. So Lookman steps up. He's running up to the ball, and I'm thinking, oh man, I should have cashed out. Well, Lookman should have cashed out, because what is going through his brain? It's the 98th minute. Your club is desperate in need of points. You've stepped up to take this penalty off of senior players and players that are good with set pieces. And he has attempted the softest, most telegraphed Panenka in the history of world football. Fabianski is practically sat down when he saves it. It's that bad. And it is literally like, do you know what? Yeah, I am fair play to Scott Parker, because he did dig Lookman out after the game. If that was me, at that final whistle, I'd have been on that pitch, and I'd have got him. Players would have had to hold me back. I'd have gone for him. Honestly, I'd have turned into Roy Keane. I'd have grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. I knew you were going to say that. Or not even if it went on the pitch in that dressing room. I'm telling you now, there is boots are getting kicked in people's faces. Like, I'm absolutely going off if my player decides to do that. Not yet.
Top of the league, 3-0 up. But you're Fulham, every point is so vital.
I don't care if it's top of the league or not. I don't want to see that.
No, if you're 3-0 up and this goal's just for banter, but when this is a goal that's going to equalise, give you a point away from home, and let's be honest, you only got your first win. You got your first win against relegation rivals West Brom. You're in no position to start giving it flicks. It was horrendous.
It wasn't even just a Panenka. It was such a soft. It was so telegraphed.
It doesn't qualify.
He literally stopped before he chipped it, and like I said, Fabianski's basically lying down and just goes, well. Oh, poor guy. My thoughts are with him today.
Do not like it at all. What are we gonna talk about?
It was 15 quid that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was 15 quid. So yeah, that's what it is. So the next 15 quid game is this one. West Brom 0, Tottenham 1.
Oh, this easily qualifies as a crap game as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Harry Kane rescues it at the end, but Tottenham were not at their sharpshooting form today. What do you think?
It's the hardest game to watch this weekend, I think. And the reason why I say that is because the Friday night game, I actually quite liked Burnley's away kit, which made it slightly easier to watch.
Tottenham's kit.
No, I like their green away kit. I like their green away kit. I really do.
I like the yellow and the badge in the middle. It's quite nice.
Well, let's just say, right, the away kit was the only bit of quality in that game up until the goal. It's a great ball in. It's a wonderful flicked header from Kane. We know even when they're not playing well, he's going to pop up. He's going to score. But there were some performances in that game that if you're a Tottenham fan, like honestly, Sissoko must have nudes of every manager that has ever been at that club. Like he is.
Him and
possibly
Pickford.
Sissoko and Pickford are probably the two players in the Premier League I can't believe they keep starting for their teams or playing for their teams. I can't see what he offers to that club. Absolute dross, man.
Harry Kane scored his 150th goal.
That's mega. That's mega.
It's mad because
with Michael Owen. He's also
it's only a one-season wonder as well, isn't he?
Only Shearer's got to 150 goals quicker than Harry Kane. Harry Kane is 27, I believe.
Yeah.
Harry Kane will definitely surpass Wayne Rooney. He will definitely be the second highest. No, I'm not. I said this from the start. If anyone's going to beat Shearer's record, it's going to be Harry Kane.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, that took me ages to close.
Yeah, I was going to say, be careful. Don't say how old he is. Don't say anything about him because you could get sued and people will call for you to resign from your jobs and stuff. So just be careful what you say about Harry Kane.
I normally call him Barry Kane, so that's probably going to get me to say.
Barry Kane. Yeah.
Right. So what else do we have to pay for this weekend?
That was it. I think those were the games.
Palace Leeds. Do we have to pay for that?
No, that was free.
You carry on. I'll tell you.
Palace Leeds was good watching for free, man. It was a nice game to watch. That was.
Palace Leeds. Now we've got issues on this game, but we also have wonderful things to say. The goals came from Scott Dan, a British a lovely free kick, Costa own goal, and Ayew also bagged the 4 goals for Crystal Palace. But the 1 goal came from our good old pal Patrick Bamford, but he should have had another one.
Yeah, I was running VAR that game. I was running VAR that game. That's my suspect draw at lines.
Yeah, exactly.
That was me.
He's put his arm out to signal the run, and is being called offside for the. No, I don't think that it was the top of his shirt.
I was going to say, do you want me to completely lower, like harsh your mellow and lower your buzz? Like, I'm going to be real boring, yeah. That's a part of the body that this season is deemed scoreable, and that is what is passed.
I don't think it is.
It is. It's literally there, man. And I hate to be boring and pedantic, but the offsides with VAR is the only one thing that we can do mathematically, pretty much. And it's boring and it's whatever. But like we were saying earlier about the consistency, like you could even see my eye roll then. As much as I'd rather not give Leeds a goal. But it's literally...
we don't want any more Patrick Bamford goals anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If he's a millimetre offside or he's 10 yards offside, He's offside. Like it's awful.
I mean, like I
know what you mean.
The Mane one from a couple of weeks ago, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think you're right about consistency. So when we start talking about handballs, I'm not happy about. I'm happy to be consistent with them results and go, sorry, tough one, penalty. But with that one, you just look at it and go, the technology is not there. This is all perspective.
Because they can't, the technology can't even get it right as to when the ball actually left the boot.
Yeah, there's hundreds
or
of
left. Yeah,
I don't think I would have had the mineral to call that one off. Sat there in the VAR room, I don't think I'd have the bottle to say that one's offside. I'm surprised they did.
The fact that referee, I don't know who it was in the VAR room that day. I'll double check. But
Steven Cotton.
Yeah, it was.
Did have the balls to have that, then I think those balls should be topped off, man. I'm not having that. I don't buy it.
I will just say Bamford's second goal was a real nice finish as well.
Yeah, it was.
Crispy volley. Can we just, before we move on,
I want to talk about before anyway.
We need a compilation of all these videos and everything from day one of what's happened. Honestly, the original thing, every goal, us getting slightly nervous. It's like we'll do a whole season thing.
But Eze's goal, that free kick. Oh my lord!
He's hit that beautifully, ain't he?
It made me thicken up. Trust me, like off the bar, top. Like it's like top bins, keepers out straight. Can I just say one thing though? How old is the Leeds goalkeeper? Is he 14 years old?
Yeah, he's literally turned 11 last week.
He's like 5'3".
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being 5'3", all right?
He's 5'3", but he's built like a Playmobil, man. like he just looks like he wouldn't reach the top corner of the shelf in the supermarket, like let alone the goal. Like everything that went past him, he just seemed miles away from every shot.
He looked shaky in the living room, in truth.
He did. He's 20 years old, and this is what I'm saying. Oh, right. I don't believe this. Right. I'm looking online to find out how tall Ilham Meslier is. And they're trying to tell me that he's 6 foot.
If it starts with a 6, no.
If he's 6'6", I swear to God, bruv, I'm about 6'5".
What does that make you?
I'm about 6'5", mate.
No, hold on, I'm not having that.
Honestly, that's what they reckon.
Before we move on, though, like who was surprised by this result? Because I wasn't. Because Crystal Palace perfectly suit Leeds United style of football. That's why Palace always do well against Liverpool, because they just hit them on the break.
I did not have this result because Palace never score more than one goal in a game.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So this and the fact that the fact that they're able to bring on Benteke for Bants, that's.
You say it like he's a threat. Benteke's been out of the races for years.
Well.
6'5" he is, and I don't believe a single digit of that.
Understand? Come on.
About 30 seconds ago, Gav, I was shut.
Don't quiet. I don't know. You lot went. I went there.
He's 6'5". No, he's not. It must just be because of how skinny he is. He looks like Kepa. Like, there's no way he's 6'5".
All right, let's not get so emotional.
Well, we're too invested into this, so we.
Well, I'm still taller than him, so I win.
He's winning it live.
Take that. Well,
take that, Premier League goalkeeper.
Another game that ended 4-1. that was Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Sheffield United are going down. We all know this anyway. Tammy Abraham, Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva, and Werner scored.
We're not. Sheffield United are staying up. You heard it here first, Ed Hull. Chelsea are finding some good form. They look like they're slowly learning how each other plays. The new boys are getting used to the old boys. I tell you what, Chelsea, probably not this year. I think they'll get top 4. Next year, they've got a challenge for the title.
Two things.
Yeah, I think they're for a shout for a challenge for the title. I think they are this season.
No, I think based on the way it started, they have to be. But I think as it goes on, they won't.
Two things though, Ed. Outside, once we're done with this, I want to make a friendly wager with you about Sheffield United staying up. Second of all, the overrunning theme in this game was Hakim Ziyech and how good he was. Now, if you're one of those people. I don't mean to sound like this isn't like it sounds elitist. If you're one of those people that only watches the Premier League and you don't watch the Champions League or you don't watch European football, this might be a surprise to you that Hakim Ziyech is a baller and he's got a wonderful left foot. If you've been watching European football for the last 2 years, you wouldn't be surprised that this guy is an absolute freak.
Someone put him in his fantasy team.
Honestly, he's passing every single pass in this game. The assist that should have been the assist was the one for Werner that he hit the post with a lob, and Ziyech is like spun on a dime and done some no look 50-yard in behind through ball to Werner. It was just an absolute joke. Thiago Silva scored because Ziyech's delivery is that wicked and that fast that it doesn't matter who's on the end of it. It was literally as good as a goal itself. The assist was that good. But yeah, Ziyech looks absolute quality, man.
Yeah, big fan of Ziyech. Anyway, I'm not being funny. Once again, like if you, I don't want to sound like the elitist sort of guy either, alongside Cotton. But what it is, if you, I'm going to. It's one of those. it's like I'm not this, but and that's exactly what I am. But even the not last season, the season before in the Champions League, you know, he was just unplayable. I'm surprised he didn't go anywhere last season. You know, he's special, and
he signed for Chelsea a year in advance, didn't they?
I thought it was all speculation. I didn't know whether
he signed
it
well in advance. He was just still at Ajax.
He
was injured for the latter stages of his career at Ajax, so people forgot about him.
Yeah, I think he's a boss, mate. I absolutely love it. But that is that game, and the final game we'll talk about is a team that were top of the league for a very short amount of time, and that is Southampton. Southampton 2, Newcastle 0. Che Adams, he
also put him in my fantasy team. Just throwing that one out there.
Good player. And I'll tell you he's a bloody good player. Scott Armstrong, man. Very, very, very good player. I don't think he gets a lot of he doesn't get the plaudits because maybe because he's British, really. You know, if it was like Armstrong-iny, he would get a lot of praise. But he does all the stuff right, all the good stuff, all the simple stuff. He's very skillful as well, quick. You know, he's got a decent line of gravity. He can shoot left peg, right peg. I thought he had a really good game.
Sorry, that proper threw me then. I didn't, because when you said Scott Armstrong, I was going to say I'm sure it's Stuart Armstrong because he's the guy.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, because he's the baller. Like I remember because I used to have this weird obsession with Dundee, and I loved Johnny Russell, David Templeton.
What FM legend?
Gary Mackay-Steven, and it was Stuart Armstrong was there for a bit as well. And Celtic brought him because he was so highly rated as a Scottish youngster. And he's such a baller, man. Like, he's getting on a bit now. He is 28. But yeah, he's so smooth on the ball. Even the way he took his goal, it was proper twinkle toes to get around the defence and slot it in.
He does this so often. That's the thing. He gets slept on a lot. But you're right, he's 28, so he's got maybe one move, if that. But it's, you know, Southampton are a good side. One player who I thought was really impressive was Theo Walcott playing through the middle. Yeah. Imagine that. Yeah. Theo Walcott looking sharp, playing through the middle.
That's what a new contract.
He must want to sign the ting. What do you think, Ed?
Oh, I love Southampton. I mean, I've been a big advocate for this team for the last 2 years. I think they've got a cracking manager. I'm glad they stuck by him. They don't need Danny Ings. You know, they're still the greatest team in the land. No, but all jokes aside, Southampton have made smart signings. Che Adams. The thing is with Che Adams, he's been scoring goals alongside Danny Ings, and this was the one opportunity where he was the sole man and he took it. Theo Walcott, I was surprised by the signing because I thought Ryan Bertrand wasn't, you know, I mean, I didn't think you were getting that much of a difference in quality where Walcott's at in his career. But they buy players who suit the system, and these players do suit the system. And Southampton, I tell you what, they might shock some people with where they end up in the table. They're fourth currently, 1 point behind Liverpool, 2 points off top.
But they deserve to be there.
Sorry, I'll just tell you their last 5 games, they've won 4, drew 1.
They deserve to be where they are, and this is the thing. And we said it loads of times since the season started and towards the end. When after the restart, about the difference between Southampton and Leicester, and we will never forget the fact that Leicester did hammer them 9-0, despite them playing against 10 men for 88
Doesn't matter.
minutes.
Doesn't matter.
We won't talk about that bit. But Southampton picked up more points than Leicester did last season after that fixture. And not just that as well, Southampton have picked up more points than anyone else in the Premier League in 2020, except from Liverpool and Man City. They're third in the
Believe in the project. There's a lot of good projects going on in the Premier League right now. You could point at many clubs: Leicester, Southampton, Wolves. Bit of a blip, but still, there's some great teams. There's some great teams being built, and outside the top 6, there is a ton of good teams. Southampton are one of them.
Brilliant stuff. That brings us to an end for today. Let's though we come to the end of the road.
I was trying not to sing, Ed. When you said about Che Adams being a soul man, I was just like dinner. I was like, don't interrupt his train of thought, for God's sake.
Fantastic, man. Oh my God. But what we got this week? Right, so we're on tomorrow. Tomorrow being Monday the 9th of November. And I don't know what month it is.
Jesus.
Mate, since I've had a kid, I don't know what day of the week it is.
He's going to be playing that card when she's 18.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I've kids, you'd be able to play it as well. So I'm going to be on with Stephen Burke, obviously part of Two at Top, and we're going to be joined by Dev Bajwa, who wrote the best-selling book. There it is on the screen. There it is, A Football Spiderweb. What a great book that is. Make sure you get that from Amazon. It's available right now. I think it's on sale as well. I actually texted Dev. I was wound up. I'm asking for a mini refund. I'm going to try and get one for you
I
as
got
well.
one. He sent me one.
Yeah, I want my £1.40
not sort you
back.
out?
No, I'm gonna fight him. And then we're also joined by Sava, Richard Sava, formerly of a Spursy podcast, to talk about football and mental health within sport in lockdown. Wednesday, we're back with the Bundesliga show, game day 7. Don't know what day is. Game day 7. That's going to be interesting as well. Lots of great fixtures that happen this weekend, including a few derbies and a few grudge matches. Thursday, 5 in midfield, and I've got to ask the question, boys. Are we going to do a watch along for England this week?
Yeah, we're going to do a watch along for England, but me and Ed are going to do one for Serbia, Scotland for the
it's a
playoffs.
big game.
That's
a bit
game.
Tasty.
Yeah. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, let's get involved.
Yeah, I think we could get a lot of people talking with that. Yes, I think we will do an England game, because as much as it always lets us down, it's kind of become a mockery on the channel. It's kind of become
It's actually like the spoof.
We end up having a good laugh,
yeah.
but not because of the football game. And England-Iceland was quite entertaining, I guess.
But you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/2topfootball. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play,
MySpace,
Caster. What's the
Habbo Hotel,
Habbo Hotel, MSN Messenger,
Blood Penguin.
Minecraft. You can find us on all of that. So I don't know. I'm just reading them all.
No, techno band. When that German techno band from the 80s.
What, Minecraft?
Yeah.
I thought they were called Mein Kampf. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So glad you can't see my face right now.
And that's another that's another best-selling book from the author.
Christ. But did you know, if you put Two at Top into Google, our name comes up first. Brilliant stuff. Thank you everybody for watching and contributing.
Thank you.
From Gav Mack, from Ed Hall, from Steven Cotton, thank you and goodbye.